What's up, guys? It's John Dominique, the Soul Proponent. Today, I want to talk about the art of questioning on the path to the soul. One of the previous videos, I talked about the gap, God of the gaps, and most people don't know what to do when it comes to the emptiness that they experience on the path. And this is where this art of questioning comes in. This is an important technique, a very powerful technique to allow oneself to develop, to allow one's experience to unfold as they experience the gap and the emptiness. People think that's an end, but I propose it's just a beginning. So I do want to say that, people sometimes think the path is a matter of gathering facts, and they think that's what'll get them the truth. But that's only going to get us partial truth. There's more to the truth than just the facts. This is a process which is more subtractive, it's more deductive, it's more of a letting go. So it's not a matter of gathering facts. You try to gather facts. The problem with that is that you have an attitude of attachment. We think increasing that attitude of attachment will get us closer, but it actually does the reverse. So it's not a matter of gathering facts. It's more of an attitude of letting go. So the art of questioning, we're not trying to find answers. We're trying to give questions. It's a slight shift in attitude. That'll makes a big difference, but you have to kind of experience it yourself and try to see why that makes a big difference. So again, instead of trying to avoid the gap and the emptiness, we're going to be immersing ourselves in it. We're going to be allowing ourselves to be erased. We're allowing ourselves to be annihilated, because that's what happens on the path. And if you're wanting to avoid this process, then you probably don't want to go any further on this path, because you're gonna get erased, you're gonna get annihilated, you're gonna be completely wiped out of existence, basically, is what's gonna happen. And the identity is gonna be shitting a brick. This is not an easy thing to even contemplate. It's not a thing most people want to face. Most people avoid it at all costs. The ego identity, its job is to survive. So we need to see how deeply ingrained we are in that instinct for survival, and how it dominates us, and how we're attached to it. Because the path is a matter of releasing our attachments and letting go of our fixations. So the art of questioning brings us to a very vulnerable state, because we're going to face that emptiness. We're going to face the nothingness. We're going to face the blackness. We're going to face all of our fears. This is not a one-time thing. This is like a consistent process that happens over a period of time, like years. And again, we have to allow whatever emptiness, whatever the consequences are of that emptiness, we have to allow it no matter what, no matter how bad we're trying to avoid it. We need to keep facing it over and over, keep coming back to it, and allow ourselves the opportunity for that to develop and grow and show us something that we don't know, because it's a matter of not knowing. Now, what I want to suggest about this gap, like I said, in the art of questioning, we need to start questioning what it's about. For instance, what is the gap? Why is it there? Why is it so big? Why does it dominate me? And again, we're trying to get questions. We're not trying to get answers. So it's a slight shift in attitude. And we're going to allow the answers to be revealed to us. It's not a chasing or a reaching or a grabbing. That attitude needs to just calm down. We need to and even the attitude of trying to avoid it too. So the attitude of the ego is to avoid it at all costs. It wants to repress, it wants to reject, it wants to run. We need to allow that to happen if that's what's happening. Don't try to reject the rejection. So allow the rejection, allow the fact that we're trying to repress and trying to avoid it, and just continue to watch it. It takes a long time to become a master at being still here. We have to be quiet, we have to be non-judgmental, we have to use all the tools in our arsenal to allow this to happen and just allow it to develop and to continue to watch it. We do that to the point where we become the watching. And when we become the watching, there's a chance for that watchingness to develop and to grow and to show us something bigger, to show us there's a higher power, that there's more to us and more to life than just this instinct to survive and reaching and grabbing in our attachments and all this ego identity business. Now, let me say, this is going to be very uncomfortable. This is not something people will want to do on, as a casual hobby or whatever. This is not kids play. It's you have to be ready for it, is what I'm trying to say. And we're going to have to allow, my suggestion is to have like an attitude of being suspended, allow ourselves to be suspended, suspend our need for answers. Increasingly allow our capacity to stay with the emptiness, to stay with the nothingness. It's like working out at the gym. You have to grow the muscles to allow that to be. It takes a certain mentality. It takes a steadfastness. It takes a determination. And we have to continue that for a lifetime, basically. And we can't trick the system. Sometimes, we'll do it for a while and then we'll give up. Well, we have to allow ourselves not to give up on giving up. It has to continue for the rest of our lives. We have to have the attitude of never quitting. Never quitting. So we know we want to find the truth. That's our ultimate goal. That's what most people want. But we don't hang on to the wanting. So that's a very subtle thing there. We know we're trying. We have to put forth efforts. So at the beginning, there's no way to avoid the wanting, the grabbing, the trying, the efforting. Allow that. But don't hang on to it. And then don't hang on to trying to not hang on. So it's a practice of non-attachment and then applying the practice of non-attachment to the practice of non-attachment. And we have to take that as far as we can until we reach God, basically. And we have to build our way up to it. It's not going to happen in one sitting. This is a development. And there's not going to be any control over it. So just allow whatever way it goes, allow it and follow it, and to pay attention. You have to be conscious and aware. And you have to be very present. This is a cultivating. You have to kind of earn this. So let's say, for example, this art of questioning that I'm talking about. Let's say, for example, I'm wondering why I always feel the need to blame my spouse when something is wrong in the house. Like, let's say, I don't know, someone didn't wash the dishes or something broke, and you have to try to blame it on somebody. So we can start questioning it. Well, what does that mean? What does that do for me? Why do I have to blame other people all the time? What do I get out of it? What relationships am I transposing onto the situation? What role do I feel I need to play? Why do I always have to be the good guy? Why am I so infatuated and so obsessed with trivial matters? What do I need to see about the way I treat other people? What do I need to see about myself? Does blaming others make me feel in control in some way? Does it make me feel like the good guy and the other person is the bad guy? Why do I always need to be the good guy and the other person needs to be the bad guy? Does that give me a feeling of control? Why do I need to hang on to a feeling of control? Can I control itself? What does being good and right give me? What value do I extract from it? What does it cost me? Why do I always have to be right? Is it possible that I could ever be wrong even once? Would that one time of being wrong define me? Would it dominate my character? Am I too proud to admit that I'm not perfect? Can I admit and own my own wrongness? Can I take a dose of my own medication? How would I want to be treated if the roles were reversed? Can I admit my own issues? Is it okay for me sometimes to be wrong? Why do I always find the need to find fault in everyone? Why do I always need to criticize everything? What is my need for criticism? What is my need to have needs? Why am I always judging everything? What would happen if I were to quit? Who am I when I quit judging? What happens to me? Will I disappear forever? What is this sense of disappearing? Is my identity real, or am I just trying to make it real by fixating on this judgment business? If my identity is not real, then what am I? What is this emptiness? What is my relationship to it? Why does the need to avoid this emptiness dominate me? Is there something more to me than just my instinct to survive? Why do I feel like avoiding and repressing anything that challenges my survival instinct is a matter of life and death? Why is the intensity of the need to judge so intense? Etc. There's more. This is just kind of like a starting point. So the art of inquiry is asking questions, deep questions that keep going, that builds on itself. And we're not trying to find answers, we're trying to find questions and then allowing the answers to come to us as we listen in the stillness and the emptiness. We have to get calm and quiet and allow that emptiness to show us the answers as we live our lives. The answers might not come right away. It takes a long time. You might get some answers at one point and some answers later. This is a process, an ongoing process. It's not like you just do this once. So maybe you take an aim. You take an aim to watch all the instances in your life where you're judging and criticizing others. And at those moments when you notice that you're judging and criticizing others, you begin another round of questioning. It's an art and a science. We pay attention to our lives and we do the work. This is an ongoing process. It's not like there's an end point. It's ongoing and continuous. So the art of questioning it never ends. We're not looking for answers. Once again, this is important. The art of questioning is shifting our attitude to giving. It's more like we're giving. We're giving questions. We're not looking for answers. We're looking for questions instead. Then we let go of the need to have answers. It's very counterintuitive. And we're not looking for the answers outside our minds. We're looking in our own consciousness, in our own awareness, internally, in the silence of our awareness, of our hearts, of our souls, of our being. If we silence the mind, the soul will speak. That's one of the sayings. So the art of questioning is very important as we get to the gap, to allow things to develop. And these are just some examples of how this can happen. on the path to the soul. John Dominic, the Soul Proponent.